When Ramattra first came out, I was a dedicated Reinhardt Giga Chad, but as time went on, I knew that he was better in every way. But I was committed to the idea of Ram being the broke bitch version of Brawl. I was very salty that he slapped Reinhardt around like a soy little Wojak bitch. But finally, after a large amount of copium and an even larger amount of seething, I picked him up for myself and started playing him more and more and more until I felt something awaken deep inside of me. Reinhardt was no longer the only thing I'd ever known. Standing there in the light of the red sun, I realized he's just like me. He's trying to make history, and with the power of nanomachines, I would be able to achieve that goal by atomizing everything within fisting distance. And now, as the best Ramattra in the world, I pass that knowledge on to you, dear viewer, on how to play Ramattra. The first thing you need to know about playing Ramattra is that you are a Chad. You're a big boy with some big fists, so you can't let little bitches like Zarya here push you around. You really gotta get in there and show them who's boss. The nanomachines inside of Robot Malcolm X's body harden in response to trauma, so this means he excels in the Brawl playstyle. However, sometimes you're just not in pocket running distance. He is what the developers called a tempo tank, and this means two things. The first thing is that he is designed for the player themselves to choose when to be able to poke or when to approach, and to cycle your cooldowns accordingly. The second thing is that when you win games, you are able to type tempo tank diff in the chat, and people really like that second one. Part of his tempo involves being far away, and to help you poke and cover ground is where his primary fire comes into play. You see, Ramattra just recently came back from the Renaissance Fair, and while he was there, he decided to pick up a wizard staff for some reason. However, imbued in that wizard staff is a bunch of nanomachines that shoot out in a stream. This stream of pure pain helps apply a lot of good pressure to help you and your team move forward. That is, if they have their W key bound. However, you're just not playing Duck Hunt. No, the enemy team is actually going to fire back at you. So to help you move along, you also have a shield, which just comes up out of the ground somehow. Despite its magical nature, once you place it down, it cannot move. So make sure you don't have a brain aneurysm while placing it. Some people may call this shield small, but I think me and the boys would agree that this shield is perfectly average. Maybe even slightly above. I mean, if it were any bigger, it might hurt the overall health of the game. With its perfect size, it's great for doing things like walling off small choke points. A little bit more of advanced tech you can do is placing it behind whatever tank you're about to pummel the shit out of, so they can't get healed by a geriatric sniper or a Baptiste. If you have watched my previous two videos already, you know what I'm going to say, but be ready to hit the gritty one last time because you can do my personal favorite tech. Strafe across this shield to break some DPS players' ankles. I mean, it is the year of our Lord 2023, and I don't know how this still works, but hey, I'll take it. When you do end up getting close to whoever's skull you're about to turn into Tyler 1's, you can activate your Daddy's Home form, which is the next part of your kit. Now, there are many names to this form, like my personal favorites, the Senator Armstrong or the Jotaro Kujo, but the name doesn't matter. With this form, it's time to take anyone in your way to Pound Town. When you turn into a homeless man on meth, you punch the air so hard it causes a shockwave in front of you, going through things like barriers, defense matrices, and black holes alike. There is pretty much nothing in this game that stops your punch besides some Siberian dirty bubble, but that shit pops faster than the Titan submarine if you slam it enough. Now, you get a walking boost when you become Minecraft Steves, so you can turn Overwatch into a survival horror game for whatever poor Anna misses her sleep dart real fast. However, if anyone with cyborg legs or roller skates tries to run away, like cowards, you have an ace up your sleeve. What the fuck is this thing? The Ravenant? No, I am not calling it that. We are just calling it the Juice World. And in the Juice World, anyone trapped inside is slowed and grounded, meaning their boots are glued to the floor. Pharah wants to fly? Nope. Lucio wants to wall ride? No, he can't do that either. Mercies want to super jump, and well, that would require them to actually learn how to hold more than one button, so you don't have to worry about that anyway. But point being, a well-placed Juice World can be the difference in scoring an easy elimination and getting looped like you're in Dead by Daylight. Given your new Thunder Thigh strut, it is very optimal during a lot of brawly team fights to just walk past whoever you're fighting and go mollywop the supports. There is very little they can do about it, especially if you burn the Juice World on them. This works especially well on supports like Lucio, Brig, and even Zenyatta, three common supports you'll see when brawling against another team. But Uh-oh, what's this? You've overextended to kill said support and now you're taking massive amounts of damage? Whatever will you do? If only you had an ability that gave you damage reduction so crazy that any damage you took seemed like a toddler was hitting you with a wiffle ball bat. Oh wait, dummy, you do. While you're in Nemesis form, you can block, giving you damage reduction from the front. This means if you overextend, you can just hold block and walk backwards until your healers come and save you. However, if you're getting hit from behind, that's a different story. When cycling your punch and block properly, you can become an unkillable raid boss, doing huge amounts of damage. Never punished, my friends, never punished. A good practice to have is to get as close as possible, using your normal form, and then place down your shield in the brawl so you can play around that. And once you're done swinging for the fences like Chris Robin is pitching, revert back as soon as possible so your cooldowns can recharge. Now, despite being built like a brick shithouse, Ramattra still has some weaknesses. While being a tempo tank has some great strengths, it also means that your pacing can be extremely predictable. More experienced players will take advantage of this and send you back to spawn, so you have to keep in mind to switch it up every once in a while and cycle your cooldowns properly. Unrelated to that, he doesn't have any vertical mobility as well. While fisting form speeds you up, it doesn't give you hops, so on offense you either have to take the stairs, get an early pick with your wizard staff, or pressure the objective hard enough for the enemy to come to you, and that's when you hit him with the old smack cam. However, when you think about it, Brawl really is just dive with extra steps. Once you're in close range, you have a huge advantage in any fight. Now, I know what you're thinking, man, this character couldn't get any easier. How could it get any better? Well, do I have some news for you? Allow me to introduce you to Annihilation. Annihilation is one of the strongest ultimates the game has ever seen, and just like all Hanzo players, it's racist. Not because it's strong or anything, but because it's bullshit and nobody knows where it was on January 6th. When you press Q, Ramattra immediately turns into a walking ball of death in his Nemesis form and draws a sea bear circle. If you cross into the sea bear circle, you will take damage over time. This also extends the timer of his ultimate for up to 20 seconds. Now, given our conversation from earlier, you may be thinking, well, 20 seconds is a long time, but when he released, there was no timer on it. If you were in the vortex, the ultimate wouldn't stop. Ever. Which I'm sure you could imagine was very healthy for overtime fights. I don't know what fucking Flapjack at Blizzard thought that was a good idea, but they changed it to have a cap. However, this doesn't make it any less powerful in that time. It outlasts most support ultimates, and let's face it, even if an Ana manages to sleep you, some dumbass will shoot your body anyway, so you don't need to worry about it, making it a strong fight winner on its own. However, some things you do need to worry about are barriers. The Vortex does not go through them, so if you pop it in front of a Rein and then don't use the speed Nemesis form gives you to, oh, I don't know, walk right past him, you are going to be up shit's creek without a paddle. Pretty much the only way to mess up this ult is to pop it when nobody is there. 99.9% of the time, you will get value out of it. You can use it as an oh fuck button and press it when you feed too hard to immediately change the tide of a team fight. Ramattra plays like a Dark Souls boss. Just when you think he's getting low in his normal form, he turns into Minecraft Steve, and then he turns into fucking Ho-Ra Lu from Dark Souls. Another totally optimal stalling strategy is to pop Nemesis form or ultimate and just hold right click on whatever objective you're fighting for. Usually you can stall long enough for your team to get back and take another fight. Now, what have we learned today? If you ask me, I think we've learned that acceptance is the first step in moving forward over any hurdle in life. You need to be malleable and willing to take on any challenge that comes your way. Ramattra has been labeled the bad guy because he's been going about bringing change his own way. But if you really think about it, Ramattra is just a politician. I guess you could say like a congressman or even a senator of sorts. And I don't know about you, but I don't think Dianne Feinstein is punching me so hard my jaw flies to Africa. So in the end, I really think we just learned to not fuck with this senator.